My name is Tian, and this video of mine is about Hua Lo Prison and the controversial story of the US Senator John McCain while he was imprisoned here. Hua Lo Prison is known by Americans as the Hanoi Hilton. This name was sarcastically given by American prisoners of war imprisoned here. The prison was originally built by French colonialists in 1896 to house revolutionary Vietnamese. During the Vietnam War, Hua Lo was used as a prisoner of war stacking ground. The part of the original building that is preserved contains some solitary confinement cells, interrogation rooms, and exhibits featuring an array of photographs, documents, and related vestiges. Most Americans know the prison as the place where under prisoner of war, Senator and one-time presidential candidate John McCain was imprisoned during the Vietnam War. McCain's bomber crashed on October 26, 1967. He ejected into the lake and got seriously injured. Some North Vietnamese pulled him ashore and put him into Hoa Lo prison. According to McCain, he was tortured and interrogated, but he refused to give them anything except name, rank, serial number, and date of birth. John McCain claimed that he was beaten cruelly, but when there were journalists and photographers, the North Vietnamese treated him so much better. They threatened McCain to say that he was grateful to the Vietnamese people and that he is sorry for his crimes. McCain didn't agree to do that. However, others prisoners of war had spoken up against his story. They said that McCain was willing to tell the North Vietnamese everything they needed, and he even did 32 propagandas for the Vietnamese against the US.
He was an FBI agent and stuff like that. He was on the Alex Jones show, and they were talking about, is McCain the Manchurian candidate?
I know of a lot of Vietnam veterans, brother, and a few POWs. And all the POWs that I've talked to over the years say that John McCain is a lion skunk. You know, that he never was tortured. They were there in the camp with him, and when he came in with his two broken arms because he failed to pull his arms in when he bailed out of his plane and had a leg injury, he immediately started spilling his guts about everything because he didn't want to get tortured. And he made 32 different videos for the communists speaking out against America and how evil they were for what they were doing in Vietnam. And they have these sealed now. Our government has that sealed to where we can't get to it. They have it classified. Those 32 propaganda tapes that he made. And so I'll tell you, what's not said on the television and will not be said on the television is how much the POWs hate John McCain.
Nowadays, when being asked, Trần Trọng Duyệt, head of the guard unit at Hoa Lo prison during McCain's imprisonment, asserted that the North Vietnamese had never tortured any prisoner of war.
He was injured. We did our best to save his life.
He says he was badly tortured over the years he was in prison under your charge. Do you acknowledge that?
I can confirm that we never tortured him. We never tortured any prisoners.
As evidences of the good relationships and the humane treatment that North Vietnam provided prisoner of wars, photographs and videos of prisoners playing sports and making Christmas dinner and of McCain lying on a cot being treated by a doctor are hung on the museum's wall. However, John McCain insisted that the North Vietnamese captors were cruel and sadistic. For the next 4 days, I was beaten every 2 to 3 hours by different guards. My left arm was broken again and my ribs were cracked. McCain described his torture in a long essay in the US. None of that is true, Mr. Duyệt insisted. All fabrication, all political posturing by McCain. I believe some Americans still carry a prejudice toward Vietnam, so McCain has to say he was beaten to gain the vote of these people. There haven't been any official answer from both governments about this story yet, but with a huge number of people opposing McCain's story, it can be said that his story is not totally reliable and truthful. Nevertheless, Senator McCain had been very supportive of the formal normalization of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and the US, which had opened many economical, social, and educational opportunities of both nations, especially Vietnam. After my visit to Hoa Lo Museum, I have gained so much deeper knowledge about the Vietnam War. No matter what had happened inside Hoa Lo prison in the past, Hoa Lo Museum nowadays has showed the young generation how much blood had been built in order for Vietnam to be free, united, and developed like it is today.